You glance at it dozens of times a day, the little stack of signal bars in the corner of your screen. Almost everyone reads it wrong, and the truth is narrower than you'd guess. It all starts at a cell tower somewhere nearby, radiating your connection out as invisible radio waves in every direction, second after second. Those waves weaken as they travel, soaked up by distance, walls, your own body, even the weather. Only a faint fraction ever reaches the antenna inside your phone. Your phone measures exactly how much of that power arrives, and it records it as a precise number, in units called dBm, the real, underlying signal reading. But it doesn't show you that number. Instead, it crushes the whole range down into a handful of chunky bars, because bars are easier to read at a glance. And here's the twist. Exactly where one bar ends and the next begins is decided by the phone's maker, not by any shared industry standard at all. Worse, that single reading says nothing about noise or about how many other people are fighting for the same tower, the two things that actually decide your experience. So bars measure strength and strength alone. Let's follow one signal from the tower to your screen and see exactly what those bars keep and everything they quietly throw away. Start at the source. The tower transmits at a fixed power, spreading your signal outward as radio waves. Right at the antenna, that signal is as strong as it will ever be. By the time those waves reach you, they've faded dramatically. Double your distance and the power can drop to a quarter, and every wall or window in the way takes another bite. Your phone samples this received power many times a second and pins it to a number in dBm, decibel milliwatts. It's the honest, precise truth of how strong your signal really is. That number is negative and a little unintuitive. Closer to 0 is better. -80 is a great signal, while -110 means you're barely clinging to the tower. Now the phone does the thing everyone misunderstands. It takes that rich, continuous number and buckets it into just 4 or 5 bars, throwing away most of the detail. A signal at -70 and one at -85 might both light up full bars, even though one is meaningfully stronger. The bar simply can't express the difference. And the boundaries between bars aren't fixed by law or standard. Each manufacturer and sometimes each carrier chooses its own thresholds for how generous the display looks. Which is why two phones in the exact same spot can proudly disagree, one showing 3 bars, the other showing 5. Neither is lying, they just drew the lines differently. Here's the first big blind spot. Bars measure how loud the signal is, but not how clean. Static, echoes, and interference from other transmitters never enter the calculation at all. Engineers track that separately as signal-to-noise ratio. A strong but noisy signal can actually perform worse than a weaker, cleaner one, yet your bars would happily show it as full. The second blind spot is crowding. Bars show the link between you and the tower, never how many other phones are sharing that same tower's limited capacity right now. That's why full bars in a packed stadium or a rush-hour train can still crawl. The signal is strong, the tower is simply overwhelmed by everyone around you demanding data at once. So the bars faithfully answer one single question: how strong is the tower's signal here, and stay completely silent about quality, crowding, and the speed you actually feel. If you want the real number, most phones hide it in a diagnostics or status menu. Watching dBm directly is far more useful than bars for hunting the best spot in a weak signal room. The exact metric has also changed with the generations. Older phones reported a rough value called RSSI, while modern 4G and 5G networks use a cleaner per-signal measurement known as RSRP. Bars can even mislead about coverage. You might show a bar or two yet get no data at all because the tower you can hear is too congested or too far to complete a usable connection. And full bars with slow internet often isn't the radio at all. It can be the tower's own wired backhaul to the core network choking, far beyond anything your little icon could ever reveal. So a signal bar is just one raw power reading, in dBm, squeezed into a few buckets your maker picked, a rough gauge of strength that quietly ignores noise, crowding, and the actual speed you experience. Thanks for watching. Next time your video buffers on full bars, you'll know the icon only ever promised strength, never speed. Dig into your phone's real DBM reading sometime. It tells a much richer story. Follow How It All Runs for more. See you in the next one.